let's take an overview of what are the basic topics that will be covered in this course. We will start with the basic foundation of ASP.NET Core MVC project, as we will explore files and folder structure with the basic concepts like middleware, pipeline, routing, and much more. Then we will be pushing models to database using Entity Framework Core. After that, our first task will be to perform CRUD operations using ASP.NET Core MVC and Entity Framework Core. Once we build a good foundation with the basics, we will dive into more advanced topics like session, forms, view data, view bag, validations, and much more. We will be adding security to our project, and for that we will be adding ASP.NET Identity Razor class library to the project manually, and we will see how we have to configure the changes. We will add multiple roles in our website and much more. Finally, as our real-world application evolves, we will see how to send email and use email templates. Along with all the topics we cover, one of the most important topic is assignments and error solving. I try to show the most common errors that you face while building a .NET Core project and how to resolve these errors, along with plenty of handful assignments. That being said, we have lots of exciting things in this course, but first let me show you the demo of the application that we will be building in this course in the next video. Whenever we are building any project, we want to see what is the final application that we will be building. For that, you have to go to .NETMastery.com, and if you go to courses here, you have to select the appropriate course that you are on. We are on the ASP.NET Core MVC Up and Running Part 1, and when you click on Details, we have the live preview. So let's click there, and it will take us to the live preview of the application that we will be building. Here you can see we have filtering on the category for all of the paving stones that we have or that the customer is selling. Then for each one of them, you can view the details and you can add them to the shopping cart. Once you add those, the shopping cart gets populated. If you go back and try to add it one more time, you do not see that option. Next option that you see is Remove from Cart. Then on the right hand side, you see we have Login and Registration. You can always register for a new account. For demo purposes, I have already created 2 accounts. For admin user, it is admin@gmail, and for customer, it is user@gmail. Let's first log in using the customer account. So I have entered the username and password, and those details are available right here in the info bubble. You can always create new accounts if you want. So once we log in as the user, you can see we are back to the home page, and if you click on the shopping cart, you can see the products that you added. Then you can remove the products if you want, or you can hit continue here. When you created the account, you entered name, phone number, and email, so that is populated automatically for you. You can also change this, but if you think this is good, you can submit an inquiry. Once you submit an inquiry, an email will be sent out. Here I'm just displaying a sample email that will be sent out to the admin user. It displays a new inquiry was submitted with customer details and the products they are interested in. So that's all the functionalities that a user or a customer can do on our website. That being said, this is not it. If we log out, and this time let's log in as an admin user. When you log in as an admin user, you will see that a new tab is available in your navigation bar, and that is Content Management. In here, you have the category in which you can perform CRUD operations on category like create a category, edit a category, or delete any of the existing category. Now on the demo website, I will have disabled the update functionality to avoid misuse of the application. But here we will be adding validations. So we'll have CRUD operations for category, application type, and products. Products will be more complex as compared to category because here we have much more things. We'll be displaying a rich text box here to add styling. They can change the image and they have to select category and application type. Along with that, there will be validations and complex logic that you have to take care of. So you can always play around with the demo here, and with the demo you will always know what is the next step of designing that we'll be doing. So that being said, from the next video, let's start with the basics of ASP.NET Core and continue to build this awesome demo. In the previous video, we saw what will be done in part 1 of this course. That being said, as the name suggests, there will be a part 2 to this course. So in part 2, let me show you what enhancements we will be doing and what are things that you should look for. With part 1, the business requirement was not that detailed. All they wanted was list all the products and submit an inquiry in an email. But with part 2, the requirements have changed. What they want now is they want a complete order management system. The orders will only be placed by admin users. And that is because with paving companies, customers do not place the order. They either go in the store, select stone, or they call admin and they place the order for square feet. So customer side of the website remains the same. But admin has completely changed for part 2. Let's log in as an admin user. When we go to log in, you see the page registration has changed and we also have Facebook login. That being said, let me log in using the admin user with content management. Now we see order and inquiry management. Before we dive into these concepts, let's try to place an order and see what's different. So now if an admin registers, they have a square feet that they have to enter. So we'll enter 5 square feet, add, and let's add one more product to the cart. We have sweet notifications here, which displays the task has been completed successfully. Then if we go on shopping cart, in our shopping cart, admin can update the square feet if they want. Based on that, the price will be updated. Admin can hit continue here and they have to enter details of the user who wants the order. They will enter the customer details, make sure the summary looks good, and they need to enter the credit card for the customer. Here we are using Braintree for credit card processing. So we will enter the test credit card for Braintree, a valid expiration date, and we'll hit the submit order. With that, we have the same inquiry confirmation view, but now we see order created and order number is being displayed. So with this, order has been placed successfully. That being said, if you recall, in part 1, we were submitting the inquiries, but we were not storing them. Now we will also store all the inquiries that any user submits. Then in the saved inquiry, admin can come directly here, click on edit, and they can convert it to cart, and all the 4 products that are there in this inquiry will be added to their shopping cart. Here then admin can change the square feet based on how they want it, and they can hit continue and we'll see the summarized total. The thing that is different in inquiry is name, phone number, and email gets populated automatically for the user who submitted the inquiry. These are not the details about admin. These details are about the user who created the inquiry. Then it's the same thing. They can enter the credit card and place order for the customer. Then we go to order here and we have order management screen and we have the filterings that user can do. They can tweak things based on the order status and however they want. Inside order management, what we are using here is Syncfusion. We have few functionalities that are available right out of the box with Syncfusion, but what advantage this brings as compared to data tables inside inquiry is that if you have 10,000 or 100,000 records, loading all of them will make your website really slow. If you go to the order here, with Syncfusion, you can add filter clauses to make sure you do not populate all the data at once. You can only populate the data that you want. So that is one advantage there, and Syncfusion has many other controls. You can use their other controls, but I will explain you how to configure Syncfusion in your project. Then if we scroll down, we have the pagination, and if admin goes into any of the details here, they can update the order details for the customer, or they can start processing of the order. The order ID here is 9, so once we hit start processing, we have the order is in process alert. If we go on the next screen for order 9, the status is processing. If we go in details now, next status that is available is ship the order. Once they hit ship the order, then the order will be successfully completed. So if we go here, the order has been shipped, and the only option that is available now is cancel order if something goes wrong. With cancel order, we have to make sure that we need to provide refund to the customer as well. So when you hit cancel order, it will not only update the status to cancelled, but it will also refund the order. We will see all of these transactions in real time and see the status of the transactions. This is just the overview of the functionality of the application, but part 2 is not just about that. When we will be adding so many new features to our website, this is not a small scale website anymore. So the main thing that we'll be focusing on is architecting our website the correct way, implementing repository pattern, and how to make sure that your website is scalable if you have to convert it from a small scale to large scale. That task is not easy. You'll face many errors there, but I will show you everything on how to resolve and architect the website correctly. So I hope you are as excited as I am with this course, and I hope to see you in the part 2 of this course as well. Before we get started, let's understand on what are all the softwares that we will need for this course. The first software will be SQL Server 2019. You can also use any older version of SQL Server, that's fine with me. But if you want, you can download the latest version, scroll down here, and you can install the developer version since it is the free edition. Once you have SQL Server, then we need Visual Studio 2019. Now the .NET Core version that we are using is .NET 5, and that is available in preview right now since it has not been released yet. So for that you will need Visual Studio 2019 preview. You can come here and download the community version and install it. Along with that, you will also have to install .NET Core 5. So you can install this, and right now the preview version is preview 5. But the course that we will be building was built using preview 4. Because of which in the course you will see I installed packages and everything for preview 4. But what you need to do is when you create the project, whatever preview version you use, make sure to use that same preview version throughout the course in all the packages or the installation that we do. Once the .NET Core 5 is released, I will update this and let you know to install .NET Core 5 and not to work with the preview version. That being said, if you do not want to work on the preview versions and you would rather work on Visual Studio 2019, you can follow along with the course as well. For that, you'll install Visual Studio 2019 and .NET Core 3.1. The course will be compatible with that as well. So that's all the tools and technology that you will need. Install them if you do not have them, and join me from the next video. In this video, I want to walk you through on where you will find all the project resources like the source code, snippets, images, and so on. Everything will be available on .NETmastery.com for all of my courses. So here you'll just need to click on courses, go to the corresponding course that you're on, you will have the details. You have live preview to see the website that you'll be building. Next we have the GitHub code. Once you click on GitHub code, it will take you to the repository where we have commits by the lecture name. So based on what lecture you are on, you can exactly see what was changed or what was edited in that lecture. This is really helpful if in a lecture you are stuck with any issue. That being said, let's go back to the .NET Mastery and we have content resources. Make sure you download these resources because you will need them throughout the course. If I open the resource that was downloaded, you can see here we have the free font awesome, we have the images that we'll be using in the course, and I have snippets that we'll be using throughout the section. So you will have to download all of the snippet from .NETmastery.com. So anytime if you have any questions with the course, you want to see the code, or you want any snippets, the one place to go is .NETmastery.com. In this video, I want you to walk you through the journey of .NET Core. .NET Core is probably the biggest change that .NET language has encountered. In 2002, Microsoft introduced web forms, which was a revolution at that time. But as the time progressed, there was need to organize things, and with other drawbacks in picture came a new architecture, which was ASP.NET MVC. Now even though I love MVC, it had its flaws, like it was created on top of the components for web forms. Because of that, it was tied to IIS and Windows. But as the web evolved, Microsoft had to keep up with the change. With that, finally in June of 2016, Microsoft released ASP.NET Core, and it was the first version. Now ASP.NET Core is built on top of the new .NET Core framework. It is cross-platform version and hence it is not tied with Windows. Also, .NET Core was built with cloud in mind, so it is extremely robust with that. Then, in August of 2018, Microsoft released .NET Core 2.0, and Microsoft team has been very active with releasing the new version. As you can see, in September of 2019, .NET Core 3 was released. In the intermediate versions, there was .NET Core 2.1 and 2.2. There was quite a big change coming from 2.1 to 2.2 with respects to identity, but with all the versions, upgrading to the new version has not been that difficult. Then in December of 2019, .NET Core 3.1 was released, which had a long-term support. Finally, in November of 2020, .NET 5 will be released. This .NET Core 5 is right now in the preview version, and we'll be using that to create our project. So that is just a small journey for the .NET Core frameworks that have been encountered. That being said, why one should use .NET Core as compared to the classic .NET? There are quite a few advantages. First is the ASP.NET Core is fast and open source. Next benefit is it is cross-platform. The classic .NET was tied to Windows and IIS, but when ASP.NET Core was rewritten, it removed that dependency. With ASP.NET Core, we get the built-in support for dependency injection. Dependency injection saves a lot of time and it is extremely helpful. As we will proceed with the course, you will see the benefits that dependency injection brings to the picture. Then the updates to new versions for .NET Core are easy. Because of that, you can always keep up with the new versions. .NET Core is also cloud friendly. When ASP.NET Core was rewritten, It was written in a way to make sure that they had the cloud architecture in mind. Another benefit, and one of the most important one, of ASP.NET Core framework is its higher performance. With the new enhancements as well as upgrades, the code actually gets much more optimized that results into improved performance. The ASP.NET Core compiler will eventually optimize the entire code whenever the code is recompiled using ASP.NET Core framework. ASP.NET Core's actual performance is multiple times more than any of the famous framework implementations. Because of that, it is clear that Microsoft has quite a long-term plan with this ASP.NET Core technology. So with that, let's continue learning in the next video.